Well, I wanted to thank you for taking time to speak with me, my friend.
Okay, just a second. I just need to, okay, press again here. Sorry. One more time. Well, yeah, thanks so much. And thanks so much for this interview as well and the chance to talk with you.
I wanted to ask you, were there any changes in the recording process for you this time around?
No, I have to say no. Last 10 years, Sergeant and I, who is the main composer in the band, we are working in the same way. So actually, the recording process is very simple. I write some lyrics and the titles. Then I explain to Sergeant how I have imagined the song, if you get what I mean.
Hmm.
And then I send these lyrics. He works on the song, for example, and I like in this way. Usually, we compose two songs by two songs, and it's really amazing because he always surprised me with some of his ideas. So it's really easy working, very fast sometimes, especially when we are writing black metal songs, more
Sure.
faster ones. And yeah, the final product is really amazing at the end of the day. So he always, as I said, surprised me with some of his ideas. And he recorded like demos and demo vocals for me. And then I jump in the studio because studio is in a different city, not in the
Oh.
Belgrade where I live. And yeah, that's the way of recording and composing and the producing as well.
And you have to be very happy with the response to this album.
Yes, I have to say I cannot believe about it because okay, we have learned all during last 10 years. We all already have some great responses.
Sure.
Draconian Age was a really popular album because of the Hanzi. Then Sword and Sorcery also went really popular as well. But since I remember also that we started this idea, so to say, some 25 years ago when we were younger, at that time it was really, I remember, that to download your album like in a 7 days, 1,000 people or something like that, or even more, it's unbelievable because 25 years ago, which is not so far from me,
Sure.
100 people, if they can get CD or tape cassette, it was really amazing. Now you get it in just 7 days. It doesn't matter for me if it is illegal or legal, if on
Sure.
metal tracker or something like that. But I'm really happy, and the Spotify shows some really interesting details. So far the album is in these first 7 days, the most sellings are in US, which is quite amazing, even better than, for example, in Germany or UK. And on the other hand, on Spotify, the most response coming from Brazil. So these are the first results.
Sure. And I wanted to ask you if you could speak on one of my favorite tracks, which is Morgana Le Fay. I wanted to ask if you could speak on it.
Yes, of course. I have to say, Morgana Le Fay is also one of my favorite tracks on the album. This idea to record and have this track is really long time in my head, so to say. It's like 20 years or something like that when I have only ideas to have a band.
Sure.
Originally, always I wanted this track to be more symphonic black metal track, but then we changed a little bit style,
Mhm.
and I think original version, when we make a demo, it was meant that Charles Rikonen, it's not a secret, from Morgana Le Fay should sing this song. But since the same title of the band, he didn't want it, not to say to refuse, but he didn't, want it to. Yeah, and then Alexander actually wanted, and we were like, okay, this could be really tricky because it's very hard for singing.
Sure.
Yeah, it's more in the Candlemas way. Surgeon really loves Candlemas, and but then his vocals were really amazing, and the lyrics also. are great. I wrote these lyrics. I didn't want to interrupt his singing with my vocals, with my black or death metal vocals. And I have to say, Morgana Le Fay, Tunnelorn are two really great tracks. One of the best tracks that we have ever written or produced, especially Tunnelorn with Thomas Wikström from Therion. And Morgana Le Fay, really, I always wanted to have a song about this. We started finally this cycle of Arthurian legends to involve in our lyrics for the very first time, and we will develop this story.
And another one of my favorite tracks is Stronghold. It has a great feel and a great power to it.
I don't know. We recorded Stronghold at the very beginning, and I think this song has a different kind of production. Also, Sergeant told me, because it was on one of the first songs. It's typical song for us. I have to say, we already have this style like from the first album or something like that, and yeah, it has some. It's black metal. It has some influences coming from Allman Child from the 90s, because I know when Surgeon written, and there were even some comments, and I'm very glad to see these comments arriving. And title wise, I was inspired by the album of one of my favorite bands from the childhood, Summoning. So the title of their album was Stronghold, and I just wanted to make a tribute to them, and it was a Stronghold song. Then we recorded it, and that's the entire story. So yes, black metal influences, but also some power metal guitars as well. So I think it is already a trademark for Númenor. There's no secret about that.
I wanted to ask you, who is responsible for the work on the video for Stormbringer?
Lyrical video.
Yes.
Okay. That is one of my younger friends, Borislav, and he's just yesterday night we were hanging out together here. He's really young, younger than us, definitely, and he's like 20 years old or something like that. And yeah, he's making all the lyrical videos for us now, for Stormbringer, for this track, Fight and Die as well. He's preparing 2 or 3 more lyrical videos. So we will try to have some lyrical videos, and 2 real videos are coming from Ario and the Stealer of Souls. Just, I think in a couple of days, Ario video with Alexander shall be released and published. Yeah, this is the first real video, so to say.
And you always have had amazing cover artwork throughout the years. I wanted to ask you if you could speak on the artist that's involved in this album cover.
Okay, this is actually a very interesting story, because already from the 3rd album, we wanted to have, these are old Yugoslavian, not Serbian, but Yugoslavian authors, which were influenced. These are, I mean, maybe stupid to say, but older people. They're already, I think, in 60s. So, for example, Bob Živković, who has done artwork for the 3rd and the 4th album, Chronicles from the Realms Beyond and Draconian Age. These artworks are actually originally made for the Lord of the Rings editions in Yugoslavia back then, in 80s. Yeah, so it's like, I think 40 years ago when I was really a kid. So I grew up with these books, actually, with these cover artworks. Then I met Bob. He's very popular here in Serbia, I can say even in Yugoslavia, author. And he just gave me for free this. And that's the entire story. So I'm really happy to have, and especially I'm really happy that Draconian Age has such a great success.
Yes.
Yeah, because it represents not only, okay, Hansi vocals were in the front, so to say, and make the stand with him, but also this amazing cover. It just goes and represents this fantasy Serbian, and you can even say Yugoslavian scene at that time. So the same situation with this Runes of Power cover artwork, old style 80s And Petar Meselgia is also our artist from coming from Serbia. I think he's now living in Holland, but nevertheless, he's from here. So there are influences from the 80s that you can really see that this was really paint. It's
Yes,
not IE, because and Númenor stands really against IE completely by the cover artists, by the music, by the lyrics, everything you see, there is the power of the man behind this,
sure.
not iron, not computer or something like that. So we really stand against it, and you can see this from the cover. We don't need to say this, you just see this from the cover artworks, from the lyrics, from the music, everything, even photos of the bands or interviews.
And we spoke a little bit on it, but I wanted to ask you if you could take me back in time and tell me how this became a reality for you. How did it start?
Yeah, this is really, I could say, even hard question, because Alexander and I, who is now singing in the band with me, we have this idea some 25 years ago. There was a club here, KST. We met each others, etc. But as maybe you are already aware, he's very popular figure in Serbia because of the Orthodox Celts.
Hmm.
They have nothing to do with the metal at all. They are playing Celtic music, something like that. But he is a metal head guy, Iron Maiden fan at that time, from the 80s coming.
Sure.
And okay, I was really younger than him, but I always wanted to have a band. This was just, you cannot say even a dream, this was just imagination. And from that time, well, people from here just remember that I was trying to do something out. And you spend a decade, so to say, trying to do something. Then I met Serjan. I was having a band Asgaroth, 2006. We were creating some really cool songs, two, three, at Serjan's studio. And then I met him, and a few years later, then he suggested I could help you with the band. I changed the name from Asgaroth to Númenor, and then we started to record the first album. Then everything went really great, I would say. And I wanted just to record one or two albums, but the band has become more and more popular, especially outside of Serbia, because there are not so many fans here anyway, like maybe 100 people. And that's the entire story. I think Sword and Sorcery was a really important album because they you can say made up the name for the band, the brand for the name in a way.
And along this musical journey, what do you feel has been the best advice that has been given to you along the way?
When it comes to music,
Yes.
yeah, and music industry today, I think you really have to have to endure all the stuff, because if somebody has told me anyway that I will record and publish one day like six albums, I will never. Six albums are definitely quite serious number, because I also, not that I'm recording the music, but I also like the music and I listen
Sure.
many bands. And you see, when the bands have five, six albums, then the things are more serious. But you need to push it to have ideas, etc. Because I know many very talented musicians from here and everywhere in the world, but somehow they fail with the ideas. They are more talented than me, one can say, but I think that uh, maybe they didn't have idea or something like that, and they have like released one or two, three records, and they just people forgot them. The scene has
Sure.
forgotten. So you need to have idea to push it, to know something that you need to stop, or maybe to return to some place, try and change something new. And I think that's also the passion with the
Hmm.
idea, the concept. So it's not only the music, definitely. I think the idea. Some bands, because I'm really into music world, so to say. Some bands have earned their power because they were right band on the right time, especially
Sure.
some 30 years ago, 40 years ago.
Sure.
There is, I guess, little bit different situation. So I think that I have learned a lot from bands like Blind Guardian, because
Hmm.
they continue to release albums, and release albums, no matter sometimes they are more popular, less, but they're continuing. So if you have long way of this continuing process, then I think the result will come anyway in one or another process. But yeah, to be the right band in the right time, I think also it could play a big role.
Sure. It's kind of like when the Beatles arrived here in the States for the first time. It was the right time, right place, and everything just went well, like extremely well. And when they first landed here, the fans just gravitated toward them and followed them with their story. When they grew their hair long, people grew their hair long. When people, I mean, it's just it's amazing how music can grasp a whole group of people like that.
Yeah, but also on the other hand, I think that you share my opinion as well. There were some bands which just, missed the moment.
Hmm.
They were really great. The songs were they have quality, sorry, but they just missed the moment. So
Sure,
I also remember, some bands that maybe today are not so much, they're not forgotten, but they don't have influence like maybe Typo Negative at that time in the
sure,
90s when I was a kid dancing. All the other bands, they were really popular at that time.
sure,
Videos on TV, you're just fascinated as a kid to see these videos, etc. Handbangers Ball, I really like to watch all these from the
sure,
90s with Vanessa Warwick, etc. Even today, because today I can watch everything on YouTube. You can find these old shows and everything, and you see how the metal scene has completely changed.
mm,
Yeah, not only from the musical point of view angle, but also from, I would say, from journalists. You see from the journalist side
sure,
of the track how everything has changed, and it's an interesting story. Of course, we are nostalgic. We will say, okay, these were better times and everything.
sure.
But could I really record and release the album and have such a response just in a 7 days or a week? No, I have to say so.
Right.
Yeah. I really have to be honest
Yes.
with this.
And along your musical journey, you've had such a great career. I wanted to ask you, what are some of the proudest moments that you've had?
Sorry if you could repeat the question one more time.
Yes, through your music career,
Mhm.
I wanted to ask you, what has been some of the proudest moments in your musical career?
Proudest, you say.
Yes.
Okay, but there were a lot. There were lots moments when when I see, okay, when first time video came on TV, for example, here.
Mm,
Uh, I think always people will refer when the video with Hansi Kirsch make the stand come out because I was raised on Blind Guardian. Later, I met them. I start to work with them on their LPs, write the stories. We are now write the book, etc.
mm,
But my sister was here, etc., and she was like, "Okay, can you imagine this?
mhm.
Just she remember when I was a little boy, and I listened
Sure,
Blind Guardian and everything, and now these people are singing for me, and I have the duets. So this is more like than dream come true. Nobody could believe it here,
sure,
but it just came up. It was, I think, the next step, and perhaps this was one of the proudest moments. But there were also many other moments. But for example, when first CD come, when I received the first CD, etc., we
mhm,
were waiting for 1 year and 1.5 year to be released at that time. So this was I was also very proud. Maybe okay, I know from this point it looks a little bit silly that I was waiting for such a long time. Now everything is really faster, but now I have the brand, I have the name. It's completely different.
sure. And speaking on CDs and stuff like that, I wanted to ask you, what is the best way to get a physical copy of this album and any merchandise that you have?
Bandcamp. We have on the Bandcamp everything. You can get CD, all the CDs of Númenor. Uh, Oh, I think only the first press, so the first album is completely sold out, but we have two represses, so anyway. And you have also t-shirts, so we have everything there, and we are just waiting. I was just writing the mail for the LP, finally, first vinyl, because we are in this moment talking about the rules of our new album to be on LP, but we have just yesterday sent the files for the Sword and Sorcery LP to be printed.
Ah,
So now, because everything has changed, we are working with two labels from Italy, different labels, and for the both labels, Elevate Records and Golden Treasures, we are the first band in the row. So it's really great to work with such a great label since everything is really fast. We were just sending the files for the new album. Pino from Elevate Records just sent them to Spotify, send stuff for the printing. It was like 3 weeks we were
yeah,
waiting. Nothing. Usually bands waiting for 1 year to have
sure.
a release on bigger labels. But I'm really happy to work with Elevate Records, and they are really all power metal label. I remember them when I was a kid at that time.
And lastly, my friend, I wanted to ask you if you could give a message to your fans, what message would you give them?
I would like always to thank all the fans through all over the world. It does not depend if they are in Germany, UK, Japan, US, or Brazil. I'm really grateful for any comment, any listening of Numenor so far. I really like to read their comments and to see that they are listening and enjoying the music. I'm not doing this for money or fame or something like that. We are not doing this only for us, but we also like to see the response of
Sure,
the fans and the people who are listening to music. I'm really happy whenever somebody orders CDs and asks for a signing copy, etc. It doesn't matter, you know. Yeah, I will send if people don't have the money, I will send T-shirts or CDs for free. For me, it does matter. I'm really happy that people enjoy in the music. That's the I think that's the most important way. So I'm really thankful for these fans because if they were not the fans, the people who were listening to this music, we will stop this after the one or two albums.
sure. And I wanted to take a moment to thank you for creating another amazing album from top to bottom. You've had such an amazing career, and it's actually an honor for me to speak with you today.
Yeah, it was really honor for me to speak with you, and I'm really glad that so many people also in USA, in America, are listening Numenor's music. And for me, this is unbelievable that I'm just sitting here in my room in Belgrade and imagining that there are so many people all around the world that are listening
Sure.
the music and what they are doing. You know, maybe they're reading some books, especially which I'm also doing with listening some other bands. So it's really amazing feeling when you have this idea in your head.
Sure. Well, thank you again, my friend, for taking time to speak with me. It's an absolute pleasure speaking with you.
It was a pleasure to speak with you as well. I wish you all the best.
Thank you. And you enjoy the rest of your day, my friend.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. All the best until the next time.
All right. Till next time, my friend. Cheers.
Always. Bye.